When you hear someone speaking with an accent, do you become curious? My parents walked right behind my daughter Lauren after they picked her up from school. Instead of being tired, her excitement was bubbling over. She said, "Мамочка, угадай что? Mommy, guess what?" I curiously asked, "Что, моя любимая? What is it, my sweetheart?" She proudly replied, "Я стала учительницей. I've become a teacher." She was only 6 years old, but was already a skilled interpreter and translator to her grandparents. You see, there were no study materials available in Russian for their naturalization test. And with my busy schedule as a senior lawyer, full-time for a global corporation, I could not devote the time to help them prepare. So, my husband and I embraced the opportunity for Lauren to rise to the occasion. For the next 6 months, every car ride with Bobby and Zidi, from school to piano, ballet, taekwondo classes, or back home, became a learning session. As days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, something magical happened. Not only did my parents pass their civics test with honors, but their vocabulary and pronunciation improved, and their confidence in English and Lauren's confidence in her mother tongue grew exponentially. Our family's vision for Lauren to grow up multilingual was nurtured. But more importantly, they built an unbreakable bond with their granddaughter. I also had a strong bond with my grandparents. I remember singing one song and then another song and then another with my grandma to keep grandpa awake on those long road trips from my home country, Estonia, to Latvia or Russia to visit family. But 30 years later, about a decade after I immigrated to the United States and had my own child, I witnessed something that broke my heart. I accompanied Lauren to a play date and couldn't help but notice how a foreign grandmother could not communicate with her beloved granddaughter that she was visiting. Grandmother was in tears, unable to express her emotions and thoughts and her love for her granddaughter. They were sitting so close, yet they were so far apart. The language barrier between them developed a growing gap in their relationship. With deep sadness, I cried with her as this woman I loved and respected shared with me that this was killing her emotionally. She longed to share stories from her homeland, to teach her beloved granddaughter the beauty of her mother tongue, pass that generational wisdom that could only be gained through intergenerational ties of their common heritage. At the time, I felt as if I was hearing my grandmother's crying from above. This was a tipping point in my lifelong linguistic journey that taught me a great deal about the powers of multilingualism and reaffirmed my strong determination to raise my daughter multilingual and save my mother tongue. It solidified for me that language is not only a means of communication, it's a powerful, very powerful tool to connect families, to preserve that cultural heritage, to pass down that generational wisdom and traditions, and bless our children with more opportunities. I vowed to serve as an ambassador for multilingualism and mother tongues. Do my best to write, speak up, and share this message globally, because not enough is being done. So, building on my degree in philology and translations, years working as a professional interpreter, experience teaching languages, including teaching English as a second language on several continents, my research and advocacy skills I learned in law school, I had a surge of energy to immerse in the world of language education. I researched, I read every article, I sought resources, I developed strategies, I made mistakes, I participated in exchanges of best practices. Now I share the message, and I help parents, educators, immigrants, leaders to create effective language learning environments so that individuals, especially children, can harness the powers of multilingualism, and we can save mother tongues. The issue is there is great urgency to preserving languages. According to my research and years of experience, many languages are dying at the risk of being extinct. According to research, 9 languages stop being spoken every year. That is about 1 language stopped spoken every 40 days. 40% of the world's 7,000 languages is endangered at the risk of becoming extinct. With the loss of the languages, we lose our human cultural diversity. We're essentially robbing present and future generations from opportunities to participate and appreciate the diversity and richness of this world. From my years of linguistic education, over a decade of research and experience, I've identified 5 main reasons why languages are dying. Number 1, lack of awareness of this crisis. I've read the UNESCO Atlas of languages in danger, world's languages in danger. And I like the quote, "Languages endangered when children no longer learn it." 2, when we know it's important, there are many who don't know how to get started. The research published in the National Library of Medicine confirms that the sooner kids start learning another language, easier it is, but it's never too late. 3, stigma. In the interviews that I conducted and research, I found that some refuse to speak in their native dialects or languages with their children or grandchildren out of fear that the kids would develop an accent that might lead to bullying or disadvantages in society. 4, lack of resources and support, even when we know it's important. We're committed to raise bilingual or multilingual kids. We're willing to overcome the stigma. We face a lack of policies or meaningful resources to support progress. Per research, currently approximately a third of the world's population lacks access to education in their native languages. Which leads me to my 5th reason: shortfall of societal initiative. There needs to be a sense of timing, focus, and attention in order to preserve languages and promote multilingualism. So, apart from preserving mother tongues, why learn or teach another language? Well, there are plenty of sources that support that languages benefit children in many ways. I've categorized the benefits into 3 categories. I call them the 3 C's of multilingualism. 1, cognitive benefits. 2, connection. And 3, cultural identity and diversity. Cognitive benefits. So learning and using multiple languages requires constant exercise of our brain, which leads to improved flexibility and overall cognitive abilities, including improved memorization, problem-solving skills, attention, creativity. Ultimately, that leads to opportunities for improved academic performance and allows kids to approach tasks with more innovation and creativity. Now, that is huge in itself. 2, connection. Communicating and interacting between different people allows us to exchange ideas, promoting collaboration, and building those friendships, relationships, and bonds. For a recent study, children who learn more than one language practice empathy more than their monolingual counterparts. Now, we take connection, empathy, that leads us to more opportunities for multilingual kids to serve society, help more people in the unique ways. 3, cultural identity and diversity. Now, language is not only a means of communication, but part of the bedrock of our cultural identity. Research underscores the benefits of using a learner's native language in education, leading to improved academic learning outcomes, fostering intergenerational connections, and preserving cultural heritage. Children who are exposed to different languages, they can easier connect with other people from different cultures and backgrounds. That helps to not only develop better sense of their own cultural identity, but gain insights and perspectives into different cultures. This understanding helps them bridge cultural gaps and leads to intellectual curiosity, tolerance, respect, and ultimately appreciation for diversity. These three C's further support that multilingualism is a door to true diversity and enrichment of our lives. Linguistic tolerance and awareness is no longer enough. We must actively safeguard, nurture, and promote multilingualism. Each of us can take a simple step, yet powerful step, today to help our children thrive in a global community and save mother tongues. Talk to your children in your native language. Read them a book. Sing a song with them. Ask your library for books in foreign languages. Donate a book in your mother tongue. Support a bilingual school. Talk to your school board about opportunities to promote effective language learning environments. Travel with your kids to other cultures and learn a few words or phrases and greet a local in their native language. Share this message with others and encourage them to speak their mother tongues and promote multilingualism. There is so much we can do. Important is to do it with purpose and make it part of our lives. Together, we can save mother tongues from disappearing, we can promote multilingualism, and we can build a world where languages, dialects, and accents are celebrated, cultural diversity is cherished, and children can thrive. I will leave you with some of the words of the great Nelson Mandela that resonated with me. If you talk to a man in the language he understands, it goes to his head. If you talk to a man in his language, it goes to his heart. Thank you. And Mai Tabasa.